Hey, I'm Fluffy, and this is my final tag 2025. Going to be having 20 questions with an additional 5 bonus questions. Here we go. Starting off the year right. First record that you put on for 2025. Now, admittedly, it is still 2024, recording this the day before 2025, so I'm going to be spinning this no doubt going to be spinning this record right here, Roy Hargrove and Milgrew Miller in Harmony. This is a record that I still have not spun because I've been away for the holidays, and yeah, this is what I'm going to be spinning. Let me know what's the first record you're going to be spinning for 2025. An album originally released in a year that ends with 5. Now, this is an album that you have to pick out that was originally released in a year that ends in 5. So either 1955, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, 2015. You get the deal. So here's what I did. Here's what I picked. Miles Davis, You're Under Arrest. This was released in 1985 on Columbia. It is not my favorite Miles Davis record, and admittedly, later Miles Davis is not really my favorite. Um, so yeah, but I decided to pick this one because I haven't spun it in so long, and yeah, 1985 is my pick for number 2. Nonstop Play. Show a record that you could not stop playing last year. For me, it was no doubt this album right here, Walt Dickerson, To My Queen, on New Jazz. This is a very nice modal vibraphone quartet, and it is absolutely up there with one of my favorite records that I picked up last year. I am just super happy. I always stream this record, I always spin this record for the main reason being the title of the album, To My Queen. It is just one of those super engaging, in my opinion, song, and overall just a freaking fantastic album. So this is my pick for question number 3. Your 25th album that you inputted on Discogs last year. Now, I understand not everyone uses Discogs. So here's what I would encourage people to do. If you don't use Discogs, you can, if you use these kinds of cubes or shelves, pick the 25th album from your shelves. Now, for me, I do use Discogs, so I looked at the 25th album that I inputted on my Discogs last year, and it happened to be this wonderful album. Alice Coltrane, Journey in Sachidananda, featuring Pharoah Sanders. This is on Impulse. Was lucky to have found this on eBay this last year. Wonderful reissue from Acoustic Sounds, I believe they reissued this already. So it's just a wonderful. I've been wanting to get more into Alice Coltrane. I've started to collect a ton of Alice Coltrane, not a ton, but a good amount of Alice Coltrane this past year, and I can't wait to collect more of her stuff. But yeah, this is the 25th album from my Discogs that I inputted on my Discogs last year. So yeah, this is my number 4 question. Question number 5. Favorite release of this past year. For me, it was this record right here, Joe Raw's New Blues. This is a great new jazz released this year, or I guess last year, 2024. Joe Raw's another vibraphonist. I've been trying to get more into more modern jazz musicians that play vibraphones. There are a good number out there, and this is the only Joe Raw's record that I have in my collection right now. But I can't wait to buy more Joe Raw's, and I can't wait to for him to have more stuff released. So yeah, this is one of my favorites, a favorite release at least It doesn't have to be the main favorite. I'm just asking for a favorite release of 2024. All right, so this question is a California based question. The question is a purple or gold album. This could be with vinyl too. If you don't have an album cover with the color purple or gold, I encourage you to show a vinyl record with one of the colors that I just mentioned. Purple or gold, you know, I uh, relate that to the Los Angeles Lakers, and so I decided to show a purple album here. This is Rashid Ali's Moonflight Quartet slash Quintet. This is on Survival, which is Rashid Ali's um, label that he founded with Frank Lowe, a saxophonist, free jazz saxophonist. Rashid Ali. This is an awesome record that I picked up this past year. This was actually one that was put on to me by another person on YouTube. So yeah, a purple or gold album. If you don't have a purple or gold uh, album cover, I highly recommend you show a disc that's either purple or gold. Next question, a live album from California. Now, at first I wanted to say a live album from Los Angeles, California, but I decided to go with overall all parts of California. North, South, or I guess LA. So I decided to show this Canned Heat live at the Topanga Corral. This is an interesting one because this was actually not this album did not take place where it says Topanga Corral. This actually took place at a now defunct arena, or not arena, but a venue called the Kaleidoscope, which only lasted about maybe a year or two. But I believe that venue was located on Sunset. I could be wrong, but nevertheless, it took place in California, and this is just one of my absolute favorite albums and favorite Canned Heat album, to be honest. This is on Wand. I believe this is a like a Liberty type uh copy, but I could be wrong on that. But anyways, the question was a live album from California. Next question is a little bit silly, but I don't think I've seen anyone ask this one. So this is my question right here. An album with a person featuring a cigarette or them smoking. So here's my example. Sonny Rollins Volume 2 on Blue Note. As you can see, Sonny Rollins is having a smoke. Um, a lot of these musicians have, and I'm not talking about just jazz. I know there's a good number of um, rock albums and hip hop rap albums that have, these artists, musicians having a smoke on the cover. So I'm excited to see what people will show for theirs. A person or an album with a person featuring the smoke. Kind of reminds me of old Hollywood, so that's why I put that question in hand. Next question. A black and white album. What I really mean is a record with a black and white photography. This is it right here for me. This is a new release actually as well. This is Jeff Parker Quartet, the Way Out of Easy. This is one that was put onto me by a number of people in the jazz community. But this is, again, like I said, I'm excited to see what people will um, show for this question. Black and white photography. I mean, this is what made me want to get this album. This is a double disc, released 2024. Jeff Parker, the jazz guitarist, super happy to have this. And I mean, the photography is just super wonderful. I tried to take this one out right now while I was describing, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyways, a black and white photography cover. Next question, artists that you recently revisited. This is a no-brainer for me. I also put this one on my Instagram not long ago, probably like maybe a few weeks ago, but this is it right here. Buddy Holly. We lost him at such a young age with Richie Valens and the Big Bopper. But yeah, had this one for a few years now. Buddy Holly, um, just an absolutely awesome musician. Like I said, we lost very very early. His probably his only album. Yeah, artists you've recently revisited. Next question: a record that another BC person put you on. This one immediately thought of another new released on Record Store Day Black Friday. This is Emily Remler, Cooking at the Queen's live in Las Vegas, 1984-1988. This is a 3 LP set released this past Record Store Day Black Friday 2024. Um, Limited to 2,300 on Resonance. This is a great live album by the wonderful Emily Remler, who we lost probably a decade after this live session. Maybe not even a decade, maybe like a few years after this. But uh, very much, I believe, was influenced a lot by Wes Montgomery. But yeah, this is one that a lot of people in the jazz vinyl community put me onto. Didn't know, had no clue of this musician until people started to talk about this release. So very very happy. The question was again, a record that another VC person put you onto. All right, an album that you have a hot take on. This one was pretty easy for me because I revisited this one not long back. I'm talking about this Beach Boys album, which has the Pet Sounds. Quite honestly, it sounds okay. That's my hot take. A lot of people praise this pressing because of how good it sounds, and I was excited. I've been wanting to, start collecting more Beach Boys, and have even asked the vinyl community, what is their preferred pressings for the Beach Boys Pet Sounds. This has Carls and the Passions, but it also has the Beach Boys Pet Sounds, and this is the reason why I got it for this particular disc, which is the Beach Boys Pet Sounds. And first go, I was like, okay, it sounds okay. Then I went back and I was like, sounds pretty meh. So this is my hot take. If you guys don't have any hot takes, you can certainly replace this question for a bonus question that I will be leaving, or that I will be telling you guys later on. But yeah, this is my hot take. This album sounds pretty meh, or at least this pressing of Pet sounds pretty meh for me. All right, this question is in honor of Rob Walker, who has been carrying the vinyl tag the past 2 years. This is the question right here. Their second album was the best. This might be another controversial take, but I'm happy to, or I'm excited to see how people will answer this. For me, this is a no-brainer. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. I love Black Sabbath's first album. It was very very strong debut, but this album just beats the first album for me. Um, I would say that both albums have no skips. Like when I mean no skips, I mean like you can't skip any of the songs. But this one just resonates with me, has resonated with me way longer than the first album, the debut album. So to me, their second album, just just better. All right, so this next one is BC Shoutout. I want to give a shout out to Raji Vinyl, who has only put out 2 videos from what I've seen, and he is probably going to be putting more videos out, and I'm hoping he does. And here's the thing, it don't have to be a YouTube shout out or YouTube channel shout out. This could be also a Instagram vinyl community related uh, profile. So I'm excited to see if people will be shouting out another YouTube channel or a Instagram or any social media vinyl community related. So have at it. Next question: an album with a title that begins with F. I decided to go with this one, Joe Pass for Django. Joe Pass, a jazz guitarist, paying homage to Django Reinhardt. This is Pacific Jazz that was actually reissued by Blue Note. So very happy to have revisited this one as well. Really, really great album. Really underrated in my opinion, and just a great freaking cover too. But yeah, an album that starts with the letter F. For Fluffy, you know. Anyways, one of the questions that is also related to me, I guess people would probably say, an album with a smile on the cover. I'm sure there are tons of albums aside from jazz, aside from jazz, because that's my primary um, thing, I guess. Rock albums, metal albums, etc. I decided to go with this one right here, Mother Earth's Plantasia by, what's this guy's name? Mort. I think his name is Mort, right? Yeah, Mort Garson. I forgot the artist's name. Mort Garson's Mother Earth's Plantasia. And as you can see right there, well, actually, this sticker is covering it, but there's two people smiling right here. And I decided to do that, like I said, Buffy related. Um, if people don't answer this one, it's fine. They can swap out the question, but an album with a smile on the cover. Next question, a musician featured in a movie. I'm actually curious to see how people will answer this one. For me, I decided to go with yet another jazz answer, and I decided to go with Charles Mingus, who was featured in All Night Long, I believe the film is called. Actually, let me check. All Night Long, yes, from the 60s. I think it's 1963. I could be wrong again, but I remember vividly about this film because I actually seen this film, and it features Charles Mingus, Dave Brubeck, and I can't remember if there were other like legitimate jazz cats in the movie, but I remember Charles Mingus was one of, if not like the very first person or one of the first musicians in that movie. But yeah, very very interesting to see how people will answer it. A musician featured in a movie. All right, next one is a album with a great gatefold. Decided to go with this one. This is George Benson's White Rabbit. I think these CTI gatefolds were always just really really nice. Either with like drawings related to the title of the album, and this is the case. This is the White Rabbit. But yeah, George Benson's album on CTI, which features a ton of great musicians on here. As you can see, Herbie Hancock, who either plays piano or electric piano on here. Ron Carter, bass. Hubert Law, who I believe plays um, flute. Airto, and then Jay Berliner, Earl Klugh, and Billy Cobham on drums. Just a freaking fantastic lineup. And like I said, an album with a great gatefold cover. A record that gets you pumped. Now, this is for me one, like I said, I have a very, very small selection of non jazz, and I feel like if I were to answer this in a non jazz fashion, I would probably be, I don't know, confusing people. I might confuse people with this one, but for me, this is a record that gets me pumped, and this is Don Cherry's Symphony for Improvisers. This is a freaking great free jazz album that, I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, free jazz will get people pumped, or just loud music gets people pumped. So I'm excited to hear or see how people respond to this one. For me, it's just the craziness of the trumpet and the saxophones and the piccolo flutes, vibraphones on this album that just makes me like, man, it truly gets me pumped. So yeah, an album or a record that gets you pumped. Lastly, from the 20 questions, an album you wish you could experience for the first time again. This one for me is the record that got me to start collecting records and that opened my genre or other genres of music. Is this record right here, Frank Sinatra's Songs for Swinging Lovers on Capitol Records. This is a my very first Frank Sinatra album, and this is originally released in the 50s, later 50s, and this is actually a reissue. So I don't actually have an original. Still wanting one, but yeah, I'm happy with this one. This is just a really, really, really awesome record, front to back, back and forth. If I could, experience this for the first time again, it would be amazing. But yeah, this is the 20 questions for the fluffy tag. And here are the 5 bonus questions. Show a 10-inch or a 7-inch. Favorite reissue of 2024. A musician you would like or have liked to seen in a movie. Now, if it's not a movie, you could probably say like in a TV show. I wouldn't mind whichever. Record a friend gifted you. Now, this could be either someone from the vinyl community, BCLT, or just a friend who knows that you're into record collecting and was just generous to gift you a record, or it could be a family member and just anyone in particular. And the last bonus question, a record featuring a spoken word track, something with narration or poetry. If it's an all album, a spoken word album, I highly encourage you show that. But yeah, like I said, it's just one that I thought, because of my profile picture being word jazz, which is a spoken word jazz, I decided to include that one in, not in my main 20 questions, but decided to put that in my 5 bonus questions. So I'm excited to see what people will share for their responses. Like I said, if you are able to answer all 20 questions, feel free to answer the 5 bonus questions. Or if you can't answer one of the questions from the main 20 question list, you can use the 5 bonus questions as a to swap out one of the questions you cannot answer from the main 20 set. So this is it, the Fluffy Records tag 2025. Can't wait to see the responses, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care.